सकारात्मक सोच को आओ सारे भारत में फैलाए, सकारात्मक ऊर्जा का आओ सब में संचार कराए। ऐसा ना हो कि हम अपनी जिम्मेदारी भूल न जाए, क्यों इंतजार करें हम किसी का, आओ एक मशाल जलाए। सकारात्मकता के उदय का चलिए हम उद्घोष कराए। RJS जय हिंद के नारों से अपना देश जगाए, RJS वंदे मातरम से सारी सरकार जगाए।
जय हिंद, जय भारत। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि हर रविवार आरजेएस वेबिनार करते हुए हम लोग आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव जब हुआ तब से हम लोगों ने स्टार्ट कर दिया, और आज 147वें अंक में जुड़ने के लिए आप सभी को बधाई। आरजेएस फैमिली की ओर से आज के होस्ट और को ऑर्गेनाइजर हेल्दी यू फाउंडेशन और द अवेयर कंज्यूमर को बहुत बहुत बधाई कि 150 से कुछ अंक पहले 147वें अंक प्रस्तुत करने का सौभाग्य द अवेयर मैगजीन और हेल्दी यू फाउंडेशन को मिला, जिसके कि संस्थापक प्रोफेसर बिजोन कुमार मिश्रा जी, जो इंटरनेशनल कंज्यूमर पॉलिसी के एक्सपर्ट हैं और आरजेएस एडवाइजर हैं। ये देश के लिए बड़े गर्व की बात है कि ऐसी पर्सनालिटी के सानिध्य में हम लोग 150वां कार्यक्रम नई दिल्ली में करने जा रहे हैं, जो अपने आप में एक इतिहास बनाने जा रहा है। क्योंकि इसकी वजह बहुत सारी है कि पूरे देश में लगातार निरंतर कार्य करने वाली, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव मनाने वाली एकमात्र संस्था आरजेएस बन चुकी है। और 24 जुलाई को तो कार्यक्रम हम लोग करेंगे सकारात्मक दिवस के रूप में। वैसे दिवस वगैरह तो सरकार और यूएनओ का होता है, लेकिन हम लोगों ने इतने उत्साह में आकर एक भारत को एक दिवस की शुरुआत कर दी है। आरजेएस फैमिली खुद इसका बीड़ा उठाया है। आज का वेबिनार जो है वो एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण विषय, जिसको कि बहुत सारे पत्रकार भी नहीं जानते हैं। मेरी बातचीत हुई है पत्रकारों से, वो बता रहे थे कि पहली बार ये सब्जेक्ट हमारे नॉलेज में आया है, और हिंदी तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं जानते हैं। वर्ल्ड एक्रेडिटेशन डे, विश्व प्रत्यायन दिवस, ये हिंदीकरण भी अगर इसका किया जाए तो ये भी मैसेज लगभग लोग जुड़ चुके हैं कार्यक्रम के आरंभ में। इसके लिए तो मैं करबद्ध हूं, आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि जहां पर इतने गुणीजन बैठे हों इस वेबिनार में और समय से उपस्थित मुख्य अतिथि भी हो गए हों। एन वेंकटेश्वरन जी, प्रोफेसर बिजोन कुमार मिश्रा जी, प्रफुल्ल डी सेठ, बीना जैन जी। और बीना जैन जी तो 25 तारीख को कार्यक्रम भी कर रही हैं जेंडर इक्वलिटी पे, तो इसके लिए भी बीना जैन जी को बधाई कि पहली बार आरजेएस के कार्यक्रम को होस्ट करने का उन्हें सौभाग्य मिल रहा है। 50 लोग जुड़ चुके हैं, और अब समय न गंवाते हुए सपोर्टिंग द फ्यूचर ऑफ ग्लोबल ट्रेड, वर्ल्ड एक्रेडिटेशन डे, इस पर ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स और वेलकम के लिए मैं प्रफुल्ल डी सेठ जी को आमंत्रित करता हूं। सभी आरजेएस फैमिली की ओर से सादर आमंत्रित हैं प्रफुल्ल डी सेठ जी।
वंदे मातरम।
वंदे मातरम।
Our chief guest, CEO of NABL, Sri Venkateshwara Saab, founder director of Healthy You Foundation, और जिनकी वजह some of us have joined us here today in the meeting, Professor Bijon Kumar Misra ji, former President All India Women's Conference, Adaraniya Srimati Beena Jain ji, National Convener of RJS, and positive media, jinki wajah se and friends. Today we are celebrating the World Accreditation Day 2023. As Mannaji has said, World Accreditation Day supports the future of global trade in the interest of the consumers. To make all this possible, many years ago, Quality Council of India set up NABL, एक संस्था है जो है National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories, बड़ा अहम रोल अदा कर रही है. Accreditation, as we all know, deals with standards and checks conformity in tests and methods for quality, safety, health, and environment. Therefore, an audit, authorization, and affixing the seal of NABL becomes the proof of confidence in terms of quality, safety, reliability, as well as competence of manpower who are involved. Therefore, whenever there is an occasion to visit a diagnostic lab, and wherever possible, we must ensure that the facility is accredited by NABL. For conformance testing, NABL testing must comply with different ISO standards and provide appropriate third-party accreditation. Its service through conformity assessment bodies for not only diagnostics, but all kinds of laboratories. Globally, NABL is a member of Asia Pacific Cooperation called APAC, an international laboratory accreditation corporation body called ILAC, which are responsible for mutual recognition arrangements. Such arrangements between countries facilitates international commerce and trade. And I think we'll learn more about it during our interaction session with our chief guest. Global trade also supports a broad range of sustainable development goals. Just to name one or two, it includes global health and well-being. It's a matter of pride for all of us that in terms of global quality infrastructure, India occupies the 10th position among 184 countries of the world. Also, India is ranked among top 5 accreditation systems in the world. Concerning all these matters, we look forward to hearing our learned chief guest, Sri Venkateshwaranji, who is an authority on the subject and create awareness about accreditation in India and understand how useful it is in the international commerce and trade. With all these opening remarks, I welcome you all once again and hand over proceedings to Bijonda. Jai Hind.
Jai
Jai Hind.
Thank you very much. Praful Bhai, thanks a lot. Ranjan Ben, the moral support behind, or the lady behind the person, who is smiling. I'm so happy to moderate this session. And I'm extremely happy that CEO NABL, Mr. Venkateshwaran, I call him fondly Venkat, he took time to come on a Sunday at 11 o'clock because we organize it on Sunday with a purpose. Let me tell you, Venkat. If people can come on a Sunday at 11 o'clock and my friend from US, Professor Ramaiah, can come at midnight, that means they're serious people. They're not persons who are not serious. and they find time for public causes or public subjects. So we have intentionally kept that time with a purpose that if people don't find the Sunday 11 o'clock free for themselves for the cause of the citizens, then it is for us to decide with whom we should move. Having said that, I will not take much time. Because your speech, Venkat, is most important, because many people, as you heard, our convener, Uday Manna ji, who is the force behind this movement of positive thinking amongst the media, and who has been collaborating with us for many, many years now, to take this movement forward. I said there cannot be any more appropriate platform than this platform to educate the citizens on what is accreditation. And the theme for this year, which we are celebrating, 9th of every June of every year, is celebrated as World Accreditation Day. And as Praful Bhai has already explained in details, and which you will also do, the whole objective of today's conversation is to be making it very interactive. After your opening remarks or speech, whatever you would like to present, we would all like to listen. और हम सबको ये भी कहना चाहेंगे कि प्लीज आपको जहां समझ में नहीं आएगा, आप प्लीज वेंकट जी से हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हैं. वेंकट मल्टीलैंग्वेज व्यक्ति है, वो हिंदी में उतना ही सक्रिय रूप से बात करते हैं जितना वो इंग्लिश में करते हैं या अपना रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस में करते हैं. तो हम ये कहना चाहेंगे कि आप लोग आज खुलकर प्रश्न पूछिए, लेकिन हम लोग चाहेंगे कि 12:30 बजे हम लोग इसको खत्म करें, ताकि आपका जो भी प्रश्न है आप शॉर्ट में पूछिए, संक्षेप में पूछिए. आपका कमेंट्स भी देना है. हम कई इंपॉर्टेंट लोगों को देख रहे हैं जो हम लोगों के बीच में आए हैं. प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर GN सिंह जी, जो आज एडवाइजर है टू द चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ उत्तर प्रदेश. डॉक्टर सिंह, thank you very much for all the hospitality you extended for 2 days when I was in Lucknow. Without you, the World Accreditation Day in Lucknow, which we celebrated on 9th, would not have been such a successful event without your presence. So I really congratulate you for supporting us. I congratulate all my friends who have come here today, and Bina ji especially, our strength behind the Healthy You Foundation. She is the chair of Healthy You Foundation. हम लोग तो केवल founder हैं, but चलाने वाले people are Dr. Anamika, who is also there now with us. And of course, Bina ji, I can see also PC Jaji, who has joined, again, Jagga Sethi ji from Bangalore. If I keep mentioning everybody's name, I think the time will get over. All my friends are here. All my friends are here. And friends who are committed. So without wasting any time, I will give a very brief introduction about my friend Venkat. Venkat completed his engineering BE from Madurai, Kamraj University, and went and did his master's in quality management from BITS Pilani. And then he has more than 25 years. You see, I also joined QCI in 1997 when it got founded. And he's a master, he's an international recognized person in ISO and a renowned auditor and faculty with ISO 17011 and many more. I would not take away the time introducing him because it's very, very lengthy. But in short, what I want to tell you is that he's a highly committed person in terms of quality, in terms of quality assurance. हम उनको रात को भी जगाते हैं तो जग जाते हैं और काम हो जाता है लोगों को जो इंटरेस्टेड हैं क्वालिटी को प्रमोट करने के लिए हमारे देश में. So on this auspicious occasion, on celebrating the World Accreditation Day 2023, I am very proud to introduce Mr. Venkateshwaran, CEO NABL, to all of you. And I would request him to give his as the chief guest, his address to all of us, and allow us to ask questions to you before we close this session. Thank you very much once again for coming to us and giving us your time. The mic is yours.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So hope I am audible.
Yes, you are. You are.
Respected Bijan Kumar Mishra ji, founder, director, Healthy You Foundation, and very importantly, RJS Uday Kumar Manna ji, national convener. Respected Praful Sheth sir, respected Beena Jain ma'am, all the dignitaries, all very seniors, right from Dr. G.N. Singh Saab, or my mentor at NABL initially with Dr. B.K. Rana, and in fact, each one of you, because all are very highly seniors to me. And I am really fortunate and thankful to Bijan ji for giving me this an opportunity today to share some of my thoughts on this accreditation. I remember year 2003 when I joined NABL. In fact, first I was working with Dr. B.K. Rana, who used to guide us and tell that what is accreditation and how that needs to be seen. During those days itself, he was international. Slowly, from that time onwards till now, past 20 years, after learning accreditation, slowly on that particular steps, and today it has been climbing up the ladder, and we could celebrate World Accreditation Day this time with the theme supporting the future of global trade. Way back, if I remember, 1982 and 1975, when the government of India gave this accreditation project to Department of Science and Technology. And 1982, they developed the program name called as NCTCF. That was the initial name for this program. And in 1993, only NABL got its name as National Accreditation Board for Testing Calibration Laboratories. So the origin for us on accreditation in laboratory sector is quite very old. Now it's almost somewhere around 40 plus years. But NABL got to know very much widely in year 2000 when we signed a mutual recognition arrangement with APLAC, Asia Pacific Laboratory Accreditation Corporation. And virtue of it, we have become a MRA to International Laboratory Accreditation Corporation, ILAC. So that was the umbrella way back. And after that, if you see, parallelly, Quality Council of India was being set up when liberalization was there during 1990s. And in 1996, the note of secretaries was mentioning that appropriate time QCI and NABL will merge together, which has happened in year 2017. Today, NABL is a constituent board of Quality Council of India. So Quality Council of India has got different boards. One is NABL, another one is NABCB, National Accreditation Board for Certification Body, where they do a certification body's accreditation work. And NABL is doing accreditation for laboratories, testing laboratory, calibration laboratories, medical testing laboratories, proficiency testing providers, reference material producers. So for each and everything, there is a international standards attached to it. And the accreditation are based on that international standards. NABL itself follows ISO/IEC 17011 standard, which has been peer evaluated every 4 years. NABL undergoes a peer evaluation, and then the mutual recognition arrangement gets confirmed. This is the international scenario or this particular setup for our country. Presently, there are a number of other private accreditation bodies are also there in the system. Having said this about this World Accreditation Day, in one-liner, what I understood about accreditation is giving confidence, and it is about competence. We are checking the competence, whether the laboratory is able to do the testing based on the test method, what they have declared correctly, and able to give a reliable results. That's what we are ensuring it based on ISO/IEC 17025 standard. So accreditation easily understandable by it means competency as well as gives confidence for the results what is being declared and given by anybody. Anybody, I mean about that particular laboratory or the conformity assessment body which gives the results. NABL recently during COVID time also we did number of works where molecular testing labs were somewhere around 50 plus was there, and we could scale it up to around 1,500 labs in the country when the emergency was there. So that's the way what we have looked into, using the technology without compromising the quality. We could do that particular aspects and give it for the country. That's one side. What is that we could take a pride of ourselves. Regarding global trade, yes, NABL supports the industry and the goods and services, whatever it is going abroad, by meeting to the export countries' requirement. So for that, this MRA helps, and the NABL accredited laboratories results tested once at this place is accepted everywhere. That's the slogan what is being promoted. And now these goals for World Accreditation Days are being set up based on the global things, what it is happening and what is required for as a common man throughout the world. That's what it is being looked up. And as such, we are looking for improving the quality of life of every citizen in our country, so that at least once we grow better, and the same thing can get abroad or across the other countries. So these are all the thought process what it was there with me to tell in a nutshell. Now let me just give a kind of glimpse in what all areas, what is that we are doing it. First one regarding medical sector is concerned. For COVID, I have already told. But beyond COVID, now Ayush Ministry, even in that particular things, all the new drugs development and pharma things, what is coming up. Now they are also going for NABL accreditation, where they are developing methods, where the validation of those methods in-house done by those laboratories are being checked for their competency. And to support that particular process, the inter-laboratory comparison, where a reference material is being produced in our own country. Even India, IPC, Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, has got number of standards which has been produced, and that is being used as a reference for these particular labs. There are many situations we have come across where the standards were not available. In those particular areas, we take support from Bureau of Indian Standard, which is a standards establishing body in our country, so that they are able to focus on certain areas, and the experts are coming up with the new standards where validations are required, and a reference material can support that particular things, for which NABL is supporting by granting accreditation in reference material producers also. So presently we have two reference material producer accredited one. One is on IPC and another one is pharma affiliates. So these two, they are producing the reference standards and reference materials for our own Indian community, where those things can be used for ensuring their equipment is okay and the methods what they have developed is valid, so that the result what we get is reliable and technically it is right. So that's the main focus on that particular sector. The other side, contrastly, regarding telecommunication sector, where 5G spectrum is coming up, even for that particular things, the test facilities, whatever it is being set up, we have the experts to do an accreditation for them, where equally it is being relied upon by the government. Directly on consumer side is concerned, number of activities are being done. I mean, right from water testing, where we need to have water testing laboratories, the quality of water needs to be ensured. Even in that particular area, NABL plays a major role. And other side, regarding medical devices sector, where we need to ensure that the medical devices, what it is there, whether it is functioning well or not. Even in that, we have got tie-up with the National Metrology Institute, NMI of our country, National Physical Laboratory, where the traceability to SI units is getting disseminated from the primary standard to the industrial standard. Those three are the three pillars, one on accreditation side and one on NMI, National Metrological Institute side, and other one on standards body side. So where we are putting up a lot of efforts and supporting the ecosystem, so that the consumer at the end of the day are finding good quality products what they are going to use it. Having said this, we did not leave out farmer sector also. We are working upon for soil testing laboratories, wherein the farmer's soil health card can be useful for them on based on the testing of what exactly it is there into the soil and what can be sown onto that. Recently, we have got tie-up with seed testing organization. So these kind of things which will be directly supporting the consumers, and what the consumer wants and how the demand grows up. Even for medical entry-level testing things also, we are giving recognitions so that small laboratories across can be onboarded. Even with water ministry, all the government water jal board labs in the district level, even sub-district level also, we are going ahead for recognizing them and ensuring the quality, what they are testing, is it okay or not okay. So having said this, we are also parallelly working with consumer organization regarding milk, dairy products, whether the dairy, whatever we are getting it, like milk and milk products, is it safe for consuming or not? Wherever those kind of things are happening, we just highlight to the government for appropriate action. We have a close tie-up with Food Safety Authority, where for number of commodities, now we are giving accreditation if the laboratories are complying for the full set. Unlike before, we now don't accept for a partial scope. So we have come out with a proper setup of regulations with food safety so that a lab can do the complete testing. And even the government norms, what we are following it as of 2-3 things. One is about, we have now started accepting the laboratories for using NABL symbol if they are completely accredited fully with NABL system, so that the consumers are not being cheated out. And second thing is the industrial status for laboratories, where we are telling them to get themselves converted to one-person company and limited liability partnership act. So following these things will have that they are all being aligned, so that the consumers are not being getting tasked by giving it to some individuals or for testing, and then the results may not be right kind of situation will be going off. That's the thought process behind why these new initiatives have been brought in. Even to ensure fraudulent of reports, QR codes are being introduced and a blockchain portal has been come up, so that the consumers are being made sure that whatever the results they are getting it from the laboratory is all reliable and they're not being cheated, or it's not going to go havoc from them. So some of these things on a normal day-to-day things we do, for those things we have did. For export segment, we are strengthening the textile industry, where the number of textile things are going up now. And recently also pharma, regarding pharma, there was issues on cough syrup. Again, the regulations have been put in place, and the best side from the laboratory segment, what we could do it, we are strengthening those things, and then ensuring the exports, whatever it is going out, is meeting to the requirements, and accordingly recommend to Export Inspection Council for giving them the health certificate. So these are all the initiatives, what it is being done to support the global trade. Same way, in the other side, if you will see that we are supporting for the certification bodies also, what the certification bodies wanted, what the industry wanted to submit or send it through inspection bodies and certification bodies. Those are all being accredited by NABCB, so that the mark of NABCB is there onto that, so that the goods, whatever it is going out, is being relied upon. So supporting future of global trade, once we are talking about the future aspects, what all the new things are coming up and how our products can really get reliable things in the other countries. So now we have introduced a system with FIEO to capture all the export countries' requirements under one platform, so that the laboratories or the industries can find out what is the exact requirement and how they need to get it registered and what is that support it can be given. With accreditation body level, we get licensed with another accreditation body which is there in another country. Generally, we deal with the national accreditation bodies, so that there are a proper governmental support for that system, and there are no kind of hodgepodges in the process flow where they are going to do the exports there. So once we are having that particular recognition and arrangements where we will accept theirs and they will be accepting ours, the things will get smooth and the flow will happen better, so that the future global trade, what we are doing, will be having no hurdles into that particular prospect is concerned. Same way, we are also importing number of materials from outside, number of references, what we need to do it in our country. So we take their support also and inform our Council for Scientific Industrial Research, CSIR labs, to tell them to produce certain kind of materials, what is needed for our market, supporting Made in India project, so that we are able to support our own system. In addition to that, do an export as well. So these are all some of the things, what is that I thought I'll share it with all of you. And then take your advice, suggestions, and then further improve upon in which all areas what needs to be done, so that the quality of life of every citizen is better. And NABL, as a constituent board of Quality Council of India, assures the support for the consumer industry as well as for everyone, so that we are able to live in a healthy situation, what we are going to do it. And I also like to thank Professor Bijanji for bringing out this particular Aware Consumer magazine, focusing on this accreditation and really focusing on the national accreditation body, supporting the ecosystem, and then enriching with all the learned people. On the Sunday, I can understand now what and how we have discussed at the beginning for having this particular program here. And really hats off to him for the full support and the way what he is doing it. And still the developmental aspects, whatever I have committed to him, is still on in progress. I will not tell it, it's been closed. The commitment what is given will be certainly fulfilled. And our support for the consumer, Aware Consumer, or for the RJS will be fully with you for doing things, and certainly take the advice from all the seniors and improve upon the way what we are working. Thank you so much once again for giving me this opportunity, and thank you everyone for your patience hearing. And then I'm really open enough to take any kind of questions. But again, I know that everybody, seniors, are there to support and then make it a win-win situation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Venkat. It was, the key words which came out was that you have been able to tell us in brief some of the key activities which NABL is performing in the interest of the citizens and the consumers, and of course the industry also, and how you are ensuring that we are able to access quality products and services in the country. So I would like to open this discussion, and I can see already, Om Prakash ji and Sunita ji has raised their hands. But आप जरा सा धीरज रखिए, क्योंकि हमारे कुछ मित्र विदेश से जुड़े हैं, उनके लिए सुबह 1 बज रहा है या 2 बज रहा है या 12:30 बज रहा है, तो हम चाहेंगे कि वो लोग चूंकि ओवरसीज से जुड़े हैं, I will first like to give an opportunity to them to speak, and then I will come one by one requesting people who have raised their hands to be called upon to speak. So I'll start with Professor Ramaiah, and kindly give a short introduction about yourself and tell us what you would like to see happening in India through NABL or through Quality Council of India. Or if you have any questions to ask Venkat, please feel free to ask that question to Venkat. Professor Ramaiah from US.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity to speak up. My name is Dr. Ramaiah Muthiala. I'm a president of Indian Organization for Rare Diseases, and I also professor at the University of Minnesota in pharmaceuticals. My interest has been on rare diseases for a long time, but that need not be the subject at this time. However, I'd like to ask the NABL, there are many genetic labs are coming up very, very fast. I'm not sure that how many of them have the NABL stamp on it. If you have the stamp, how do you police them that they are following? Thank you.
Venkat, would you like to answer right away, or would you like to answer one by one later on? Whatever way you feel comfortable, we are happy with that. Venkat, are you there? Venkat?
Yes, he has joined.
Okay. So Venkat, would you like to answer the question right away, or would you like to keep it towards the end?
I think once again, question should be raised once again.
Venkat, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm there. Actually, there was a small technical glitch.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Could you hear the question which Dr. Ramaiah asked you?
No, sir. Man, it got out,
Okay,
sir.
Professor,
Okay.
can you repeat
Yes.
in brief?
Yes, sir. I'll ask again. In recent years,
Yes.
genetic testing in India has becoming very common, and everybody is talking about it in diagnosing rare diseases in particular.
Yes. Sir.
And I am assuming that many of these laboratories already have the NABL stamp. Maybe, maybe not, but I have not seen many. However, if you have the NABL stamp, how would you enforce them that they are doing it?
So what we do is, once we get the application with the scope, there is a experts what we have been empaneled as our assessors. So for genetic field, they go to that particular lab and they give them a sample to do the testing in front of them. And then once they demonstrate, then they verify they are competent enough for that particular scope. And based on that, they recommend it to the NABL board. And there is an accreditation committee which reviews that assessment report submitted by these particular experts. And that genetic experts looks and reviews the particular report, and then they recommend for accreditation. And that's how that accreditation is being given for that particular scope of genetics testing. And that is being given based on ISO 15189 standard. And then there is a surveillance mechanism every year what we do for that laboratory. During the surveillance mechanisms also, we check what all the reports issued by them, is it right or wrong? Again, a genetic expert goes to that particular laboratory and they do that particular activity. And then based on that, we give them the continuation of accreditation. And then once in 2 years, we do a renewal of accreditation for them. We judge their competency again, reassess their competency for that particular scope. And then we ensure that the reports given by them are correct and reliable. That's how that mechanism goes. So if you will ensure that there is an NABL symbol given onto that particular test reports, that can be relied upon.
Sorry, just a follow-up question, if you don't mind. Do they ask, the laboratories come to you for your stamp, or you go and tell them that you need the stamp?
No, first one is always it is voluntary. We generally don't go, but we make an awareness program that this will help. So once we do an awareness to them, and then they check based on that awareness, they come up voluntarily first for quality. We only support it by giving them that these are all the benefits of accreditation if they will take it.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Now I'll go to Kamal Nayan Agarwal. Kamal Nayan is also from US, a professor, doctor. Kamal Nayan also was with me in BHU, my colleague, the same batchmate. Kamal, nice to see you. You know, from US.
Hey, how are you?
Very good. Come in, please. And short introduction about yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but
Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
My name is Kamal Agarwal. Yeah, I'm from Harvard University, School of Business.
Sir.
And it's a very interesting talk. And I'm really impressed during the discussion I may have. Then again, I will raise my hand. But it was very interesting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kamal.
And
Thank you, Kamal.
here it is going to be about 1 o'clock night. So yeah, I'm sorry that I do not have, but it's a very, very good talk. And some knowledge from you.
Thank you.
Very knowledgeable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I'll request Ranjan Verma. Ranjan, are you there? From US? Ranjan Verma ji, are you there? If he is not there, then I will go to another BHU friend of mine, Professor Dr. Vinay Nagia. Vinay, Dr. Saab, aap hain ki nahi? Professor Saab, there you are, BHU. We were together in BHU together, and I can see Dr. GN Singh smiling because he's also BHU alumni. So Vinay, nice to have you.
Thank you.
Questions? Yes.
Wonderful listening to everybody here. And it's a new learning experience for me because I'm joining in for the first time here. Thank you very much for all the knowledgeable inputs. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will now straight go to Dr. G.N. Singh. And the rest of you, please raise your hands because I won't be able to recognize each one of you. I may not be able to know all my friends who have come till you don't raise your hand. I will start with Dr. G.N. Singh now. Dr. G.N. Singh, who is the advisor to the Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, a good friend of mine who was Director General, Drug Controller General of India. So, Dr. G.N. Singh.
Good morning, Vijanda, and all the galaxy of the experts. Really, it was a wonderful learning from such an expert, and Venkat has really flagged most of the issues which on the product services the nation is facing. I remember the Honorable Prime Minister when from लाल किला से जब उन्होंने कहा था कि हम जीरो डिफेक्ट के प्रोडक्ट्स चाहते हैं और जीरो एरर की सर्विसेज चाहते हैं, तो सर हम ये कहते हैं कि वो सारी चीजें अब फलीभूत हो रही हैं। और इसका एक केस स्टडी अगर देखा जाए तो विजानदा, प्रफुल्ल जी और सारे जो बीना जी को हम देख रहे हैं, हम अपने VR सेठी साहब को देख रहे हैं, मुर्गेसन साहब को देख रहे हैं, उदय मन्ना जी ने जो कहा एक्सेलेंट सर। हमने कभी ऐसी प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं देखा था जहां ऑल द पीपल हु आर हैविंग ए ग्रेट कंट्रीब्यूशन एंड हु कैन मेक द सिस्टम टू बी मूव फॉरवर्ड। आज हमें बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है। और एक ही चीज बताएंगे कि उत्तर प्रदेश, क्योंकि हमने केंद्र सरकार में काम किया है और अभी विजानदा पिछले दिनों यहीं पर थे, हम उनका आभार QCI का आभार व्यक्त करते हैं कि उत्तर प्रदेश में जो माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी की विचारधारा है कि क्वालिटी is the mantra of success, innovation and quality, and the UP government is focusing on both of them. हम ये कहना चाहेंगे कि पीछे हम लोग बड़े पिछड़ गए थे, अब आज हमारे पास हॉस्पिटल और उनकी जो क्वालिटी सर्विसेज हैं, जो हमारी ड्रग टेस्टिंग लेबोरेटरीज हैं, हमें जब हम DCGI थे तो NABL एक्रेडिटेड लैब का कंसेप्ट जगत सेठी साहब और मुर्गेसन जी हैं, और हमारे सबसे बड़े तो जो बड़े भाई प्रफुल्ल भाई हैं, जब IP कमीशन बन रहा था तो हम लोग अभी एक्रेडिटेशन के बारे में जीरो थे। आज हमें ये खुशी हो रही है कि मोस्ट ऑफ आवर सेंट्रल लेबोरेटरीज, स्टेट लेबोरेटरीज थ्रू कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग प्रोजेक्ट एंड हेल्प ऑफ द QCI proper driven by the Vijayanda, the whole system. Today, the quality of the medicines, the medical products, plus the medical devices, they are at par with any international requirements. हमें ये खुशी होती है कि इंडियन फार्माकोपिया कमीशन जब हम लोग बना रहे थे, जब IP को लोग फॉलोअर कहते थे, आज जो QCI NABL के जो डिफरेंट आपके एक्रेडिटेशन के जो टूल्स हैं उसको अपनाने के बाद नाउ वी आर ग्लोबली रिकॉग्नाइज्ड। आज 5 कंट्री विश्व की हमें रिकॉग्नाइज्ड की हैं, ये बहुत ही गौरव की बात है। हमें उम्मीद है कि आने वाले समय में जो हमारी क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, क्वालिटी सर्विसेज हैं, ये विश्व में अपना परचम फहराएंगी। Always the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Chief Minister tell us that 21st century would be of the India, and I am confident it is going to happen. दूसरी चीज ये हम कहेंगे कि जो नॉलेज बेस्ड सेक्टर है उसमें भारत, चाहे वो साइंस हो, टेक्नोलॉजी हो, चाहे रिलीजन हो, चाहे हमारे एजुकेशनल सिस्टम हो, अभूतपूर्व परिवर्तन हो रहा है। विजयंदा, एक चीज और हम कहना चाहेंगे कि जो QCI है, जो एक्रेडिटेशन सिस्टम है, इसने कहाँ से कहाँ हमें पहुंचा दिया। देखिए, पहले हम लोग फार्मा सेक्टर, फूड सेक्टर तक ही अपने को सीमित रखते थे। आज एजुकेशन सेक्टर में सभी लोग अगर एक्रेडिटेड नहीं है तो उनकी जीरो वैल्यू है। कोई लड़का एडमिशन लेने के लिए तैयार नहीं है, प्रतिदिन उनके अंदर स्पर्धा हो रही है। NABH हॉस्पिटल में सर अगर NABH नहीं है तो कोई मरीज दिखाने नहीं जा रहा है। क्या परिवर्तन हुआ है। एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर में हम देख रहे हैं कि अगर हमारे सर्टिफाइड फूड के जो प्रोडक्ट्स हैं या जो सीड्स हैं, अगर वो नहीं है तो क्या होने जा रहा है। सर सबसे बड़ी बात हो रही है कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस। हम गडकरी साहब को सुन रहे थे, उन्होंने कहा कि अभी हम एक्रेडिटेशन के थ्रू ऐसा करेंगे कि किसी जो हमारे डिफरेंट टॉल लगे हुए हैं वो सब जीरो हो जाएंगे। तो in totality I am seeing a huge changes. सर एक चीज और प्रोफेसर रमैया के लिए कहते हैं, रमैया जी, you are a great person doing good job and we are looking forward to have supporting you many time. I may not be responding you, so sorry for that, but we are working with Vijanda and the whole group. Thank you, sir, very much.
We should get him to Uttar Pradesh. उनको उत्तर प्रदेश लेके आने का है.
बिल्कुल सही.
रेयर डिजीज को लेकर हम लोग को वहां पे बहुत अध्ययन करने का जरूरत है. उनको लेकर आएंगे हम लोग. इसी डॉक्टर सिंह, कल जब हम आपके बगल में बैठे थे तो आपने स्लिप भेज दिया था, टाइम पे प्रबंध रखिए, टाइम देखते रहिए. आप हमको बहुत बार टोके हमारे स्पीच को लेकर, तो आज हम आपको कागज नहीं दिखा पा रहे हैं. तो फिजिकल मीटिंग और वर्चुअल मीटिंग में थोड़ा सा फर्क होता है.
So this is how your guru.
So what I would request everybody to be a little brief, because I would like to give chances to everybody, because everyone who is attending today, they are all important. Let me tell you, Venkat, they're all key movers in the community.
Yes.
I'm so happy that they took time on a Sunday at 11 o'clock to come and join this conversation. So I would like people to be short, brief, to the point. Sunita ji, the next turn is yours. Sunita ji.
Hello, sir. You are here to me, sir?
Yes, you are loud and clear.
Oh, sir. It's nice to meeting you and seeing you, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Any question to Venkat? Any question to Venkat?
Yes, sir. We have, I have few questions related to the transmission of ISO 1589-2012 to ISO 1589-2022. Sir, this is question for the Dr. Venkat, sir. It is a wonderful talk. Just you have briefed about us. So this question to you, sir.
Yes, please.
Can you tell us
Please,
ISO 1589-2022?
He has understood your question.
Yeah, 15189-2022 version got released in December 2022. Now NABL has started doing training programs. June, July, we will be covering all the assessors and then the laboratories. We are doing a training program for all, free of cost. And then we wanted to disseminate the full things. The main changes, if you will see, now it has been more focused on patient welfareness, well-being of patient. So that's the main focus. And then the second one is about the risk management, what it is there. And then alignment with 17025. These are all the highlights of the present one. And the structure itself got changed. Now the structure for new 15189 goes like this: general requirements, structural requirements, then resource requirement, process requirements, and management system requirements. These are all the class 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very much. I will go to
Sir, one more question, sir. One more question, sir.
One at a
We
time.
are doing the training program.
We are rushing. Sunita, we'll come back to you later on. We'll come back to you. Om Prakash ji, because they are waiting for a long time. Om Prakash ji, आप unmute करके आइए please. Om Prakash Garg ji, आप हैं?
Sir.
Please.
Sir, good morning. Sir, good morning. I am hearable, sir. Sir?
Yes, audible.
Thank you. Sir, I am very thankful to you for such a nice program you have done it. So we are getting got lot of knowledge. I have got just simple question. You see, milk is consumed by everybody, and there is a news in the Punjab also that the milk produced in India, Punjab is less than the consumed, sir. So how that means they are using it in the wrong way. So they are supplying us. You see, their milk plants are supplying, but people are habitual of taking the cycle wala milk much day. What is the way of testing and all that? And the government, you suggest everybody should have equipment with them testing or this situation. So this I want to know the thing. Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, regarding milk testing, now we are encouraging the kits, what it is coming up, so that there are a kind of small kits what FSSAI has already introduced. So those things will be
Oh, we have lost him.
Can you yes, sir?
We have lost him. We have lost him.
No, I am there. I am there.
No. Venkat को सुनाई नहीं पड़ रहा है. Venkat का there is a signal issue. There is a signal issue with Venkat.
सर केवल हम ये आंसर उस पे ऐड कर देते हैं कि हमारे पास स्मार्ट किट्स तैयार हैं जो कि घरों पे बिल्कुल कम खर्चे में आप तुरंत ही इंस्टेंटेनियसली जान सकते हैं कि मिल्क की क्वालिटी क्या है। तो आप चिंता छोड़ दें और वो किट जो FSSAI ने डेवलप की हुई है उसको ले लें, अपने घरों में रख लें। कोई 10-20 रुपए की मिलती है। जब
सर ये कहाँ से मिलेगी, किट्स कहाँ से मिलेगी सर?
हम उसका पता FSSAI की आप वेबसाइट पे जाइए, सब कुछ अवेलेबल है।
अच्छा सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, वी विल गो दैट, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
We will make you aware about the availability. आपने बहुत अच्छा सवाल पूछा। हम लोग कहीं ना कहीं
किस मेक की है सर, किस मेक की है,
ये सारे डिटेल्स आपको हम लोग जरूर दिलाएंगे। अब हम मिस्टर जगा सेठी से रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे, डॉक्टर जगा सेठी प्लीज। डॉक्टर जगा सेठी प्लीज अनम्यूट and come if you are there.
Yeah, I'm there. Good evening, Bijan ji. Very happy to see Dr. Jain Singh Saab after a long time. So nice that a lot of things you are doing at Uttar Pradesh. Very nice. And also you please keep your eye on other states also, not only just concentrating on Uttar Pradesh. With that, my question is very simple question. CDLs, there are 7 laboratories, most of them are enable accredited. Whereas state laboratories, there are so many government laboratories. Private enable is there. Government drug testing laboratories, I think government has to insist on getting them also accredited, enable accredited. And one thing. Second one is, like ISO certification is validity is for 3 years, whereas enable accreditation is given for only 2 years. Can it be extended? Because 2 years is a very small period. Can it be extended for another year, 3 years, once the certificate is given, so that it will become easier for further renewal or anything? Thank you.
Very good.
Yes, sir. I understand and agree with your points. First one regarding the state drug testing laboratory, yes, they are coming up for accreditation, and there are some few training programs is lined up, and once that is being completed, they will be on board. Only in few gaps like calibration things are being done there, and that will get on board quickly, maybe a month or so time that will be done. Second thing regarding this accreditation cycle, actually this 2-year cycle will be introduced in 2005, where the laboratories were complaining that every year we will not be able to undergo assessment. But the government also saw that at least you need to do assessment every 18 months. So as per ISO IEC 1711 standard, we need to do an on-site assessment in every 18 months. So only we had kept it as 2 years. But then, as what you are rightly telling about the renewal, we will ensure that there are no gaps. We do it without taking kind of application or so. We are working on a kind of mechanism so that at any given point of time, the labs are accredited or the competency is being reassured to the public. The most important thing is that it's not about the validity. It can be indefinite period also. But again, we need to follow certain government norms for that. But at the same time, we need to ensure quality also. And again, we will not be able to subject the laboratory for a number of assessments also. So an optimum period of around 18 months is what it is being kept for that. So that's how we are telling it as renewal. Maybe we can change the terminology of renewal to a normal kind of activities. We can even give a validity without mentioning the period also. We are working on to that particular aspect is concerned. Whichever is beneficial to the lab, we will be certainly doing it, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for your question and then putting me also reminding me about that particular subject. Thank you, sir.
My next would be, I can see my friend, Ramu. Ramu, he was with me in Loyola School, Jamshedpur, as well as BHU. He was doing engineering. Ramu, any questions you have? Unmute and come. Ramu, can you hear me? Okay, so he is still, I think, trying to navigate to come in. I would now go to Dr. Murugesh. Dr. Murugesh.
The inputs have been very interesting.
Okay, Ramu.
The inputs have been very interesting. I think possibly with the efforts that Dr. Venkateswaran is putting along with the assistance from other team members, including Bijan, possibly we will see the situation evolving over a period of time. In the next possibly 2 to 3 years' time, we will see evolution in this area whereby we will have more number of accreditations and possibly the consumer would benefit enormously from the efforts that the team is putting. My hats off to the entire team, which is spearheading this effort. Thank you so much.
So nice of you, Venkat. Thank you for your encouraging words. Dr. Murugasan.
Sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. All right, sir. I'm very happy to attend this meeting, a very important meeting, sir. It is the need of the hour. You have convened the meeting at the right time. Now, see, because of the cough syrup issue, the government has issued an order that the sample should be analyzed only in enable accredited laboratories. So enable is very, very important nowadays. A day will come when the enable accredited laboratory alone can issue analysis certificate. Really good, very good, sir. Then talking about medical devices, I understand CDSU is creating so many posts, new posts for medical devices. Then they will be creating posts for medical device testing laboratory also. By that time also, this enable accreditation is very useful. And we are very grateful to Dr. Jian Singh, who has organized training and motivated us to get enable accreditation. Now all the 7 laboratories of CDSCO have got enable accreditation. Now, and one more thing I would like to say, CDTL Chennai is the first laboratory to get enable accreditation for medical devices in government sector. So Mr. Accreditation, of course, very helpful to us. And I attended so many training programs and some other meetings also. He has been very helpful to us. I'm very sure under the guidance of Mr. Venkateshwar and other persons of NABL, all the state government laboratories will get enable accreditation very soon. Again, yes, thanks for conducting this meeting, sir.
Very good. Very good.
Please keep it up.
Thank you very much for these encouraging words. Venkat, you want to respond?
Yeah, and actually, I just wanted to tell everyone that you are already holding a knife onto us so that we are being very clear and we have to do a quality job for the consumers. I just want to again thank you only mainly because I need to tell everyone that already you are there on putting a proper knife at that particular place so that we can't get escaped out of anything. So what we are doing.
Jago crack, jago, jago crack, jago. You know, I was telling Professor Ramaiah in the morning, you know, when he joined the conversation, I told him, if anybody you find in India going to sleep, you please tell us, we will wake them up. That is our position. but not showing the knife or the gun. We want to wake them up by shaking them. You know? we don't want to do that. So our Guruji now, Dr. Rana, we want to hear from him. Our Guru, Dr. Rana.
Thank you, Vijayanda, for first having me here today. A very interesting topic. Thanks, Venkat, for highlighting what NABL is doing, and really appreciate. Vijayanda, you forget that I'm also from BHU alumni. So.
Really? I didn't know. I have really forgotten. Yes.
No, that's not a fault. You have too many things.
Thank you for reminding me. So now I will not forget. Now I will not forget. Because all my BHU friends are smiling. I can see.
Good to see Dr.
Kamal Nanayan is smiling. Jian Singh is smiling. Namu is a little serious. I don't know why he's not smiling. You know.
So that's good. I could do a smile at the faces of people. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Jian Singh, sir, for driving in UP. And the quality and accreditation is like, for me, is the only thing I know for last 25 years. Starting from my career in NABL, as Venkat mentioned, and then to NABH, and then to QAI. And I'm happy that Dr. Jian Singh is really pushed through even pharmacopy vigilance and all those things when we signed an MOU in 2017. So really wonderful things. But I would like to say, it's not a question to Venkat. Venkat, thank you very much for bringing things up. But I would like to say that a quality improvement is not the responsibility of only accreditation body of the government. This is the responsibility of everyone around, everyone. Starting from the government, regulators, accreditation body, groups, community, every individual's industry. We can't just ask something without knowing what is the reason behind asking it. Like the milk, if we become ignorant on that how we can check the quality or raise the concern, in fact, we are also not doing our job. So I think that this platform, Dr. Bijon, you have created is really important to bring the upliftment of everyone around. Actually, it's about empowerment, empowering the last person in the community. who is the most neglected perhaps. So I think this group you have created is really bringing a lot of value to the communities, the end user of any accreditation, I would say. What we are talking about is for the consumer, the end.
No, you are absolutely right. You don't, Dr. Rana, you are absolutely right. But I must tell you also, in order to do that, we need support. We need guidance. We need mentorship. And if it was not QCI, if it was not NABL, if it was not NABH, we wouldn't have been able to form this group also. We were able to do it because they also supported us, and when we ever talk to Venkat or talk to Ravi or talk to Dr. Datul or anybody whom we are in touch with, or even the chairperson of QCI, the point which I'm making is we might give them great ideas, but there should be people who would be ready to volunteer time to take it forward. And that is what we are looking for. And this is where the core group is formed. Today, whoever has come for this meeting, they are actually true volunteers. On a Sunday, coming at 11 o'clock to attend an event, to learn about accreditation, I think there cannot be anything better than that.
Absolutely.
And then the questions which they have asked, excellent question. Om Prakash ji has asked, everybody's asked. Very good question. Dr. Ramaiah has asked about surveillance. Very good questions. And I really want to congratulate NABL team, the QCI team for taking this forward. Today, we have got around 100 people attending this program. I want to see it goes up to 10,000, 100,000 people, in the country attending and learning about accreditation, which is very important. But as you very rightly said, Dr. Rana, we can't do it alone. We have to work together, partners.
Together.
So I'm looking forward that in the coming months and years, you will guide us to take it forward and how to take it forward. And I'm very happy.
Thank you so much.
You took your time and you joined. I'm very happy. Please stay on. Please don't go because there might be people who might like to ask certain questions which might be directed to you. So please stay on. Please stay on.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would now like to go to Sumit. Sumit Panda has been waiting. Sumit, please come, unmute and come. Sumit. Sumit, are you there? You've raised your hand. Please unmute and come. If not, next is Umang. Umang Kumar, would you like to come? Umang? Umang? And then there is another person.
ये अशोक कुमार मलिक जी, अशोक कुमार मलिक जी जुड़े हुए हैं, क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे. अशोक कुमार मलिक जी, प्लीज आप अनम्यूट करके आइए प्लीज.
Good morning to everyone.
Namaskar. Good morning.
And it has been quite informative, this talk by this CEO of NABL. And what was transpired between all people who were questioning and when answers were being given. I would say that sometimes we should always, when discussing, end up or at least recall the intangibles, which can be even much more important for our global community and its future. For example, simple commerce, even in the absence of quality control, binds people. In these days, for now decades, quality consciousness has emerged and has is becoming more and more prominent despite all contradictions. Now, this is a scientific effort. Despite people turning towards externally towards technology, literacy is not that much as we would like to suppose. Increasing gap between expertise and the general public. And now it is for the users, we take it for granted. Okay, we have to. If I go to the lab and they test me, I say, okay, I'm satisfied. But I am doing it somewhat blindly, if not totally. I would like to ask 2 or 3 questions. to the CEO.
Yes, please, sir.
Yeah, now, what according to your experience and knowledge and intuition even, how much ground has been covered of bringing quality consciousness to operate in different fields in our country, number one, and what is the gap in roughly speaking, if not statistical. And wherever the ground has been covered, I mean, it has been applied to different, it's a bewildering sort of trade and commerce. Control has been applied and is operational. What is the difference between what is on paper and what is on actuality? Now, this is a difficult question, I know, but some intuition must be there to the person heading. That is what I would.
Very good.
Yeah,
Venkat,
thank you very much.
Venkat, are you there? Because I can again see we have
Yes,
lost.
yes, chief guest is there.
अगर नहीं उनका सिग्नल थोड़ा पुअर लग रहा है
अच्छा हाँ
बीच में चले जा रहे हैं उनका
now they are joining.
Venkat, are you back?
They are joining.
They're joining.
Yes, joined. They joined.
Venkat, are you there?
Yeah, I am there. Actually, I don't know why on Sundays 2-3 times that the signal is going off. I have heard his question. I have heard his question.
Your computer needs rest. You are making it overwork.
Recording. No, I'm sorry onto that.
Did you get his questions?
Now I have logged into 2 devices so that I will not get off.
Did you get his question, Venkat? Were you able to get his question?
Yeah, I could hear his question.
Please respond. Please respond.
Sir, first one is regarding quality and regarding trade, what you asked. In fact, everybody are aware of that, and it is not that people are not aware. The important point is whether I need to do it or I need not to do it. And what are all the ways and means I can do away with it. So the idea or the intention is, if it is to do away with it, then people are not coming forward. If you make it mandatory, they find other ways around to ensure that it is being gap is being bridged. Unless and until it is not being made voluntarily, they come for quality consciousness, and this quality consciousness should yield them business. So if we will be able to do that to them, the confidence really, if they get it, and if they are able to really save some money out of this, then they will be able to come out voluntarily and do things. We are trying our best now. The small aspects what we are coming up is, one, whoever feels that they are competent enough, we are now opening up by giving a sample to them. If they will do the testing or a calibration and give us a correct result, we give them a kind of recognition at the initial period. So that will give them confidence or boost them that yes, it is possible that if we are able to do the testing correctly, any bill will give the recognition. That much confidence first they will get. The second one is then they are being given some time for converting and following international standard. Once that they will be able to comply upon, there they will gain more confidence, and then they will be following the system so that at any given point of time, whatever they are producing it, the result will be correct. And timely that things gets converted for the business, then they will be sticking on to these things. Otherwise, they will not like to stick on to these things. So I'll not tell in our country there is a dearth of consciousness or quality consciousness. People are aware. But again, there was question. Somebody asked about the kits. As a consumer, I don't know that there are kits available and I can take that kits and I can certainly check when I am going to take it in my house. Now, slowly these things are getting promoted. Even for me, I was not focusing about these consumers maybe some 3 years or before. After meeting Bijan Jha, the way whatever he was telling us about consumers and the accreditation body's perspective, he has changed. So once we are getting aware, yes, this is the time or how we have to work. Because today, how we are working and before how we were working, there are huge differences. Today, we are customer focused, consumer focused. I need to use consumer because Bijanta was very, very clear in telling that. So once he makes us understand how we have to look into and what should be our focus from accreditation angle or a government angle, the perspective gets little bit changed. So now we are working towards quality of life. Even the schemes, whatever I told, I mean, for soil testing or for water testing, preliminary things we have did it. I missed out telling about toys. Toys is another big area. When we started, there were no labs, 1 or 2 labs. And once the task was being given, a quality control order was being published, then around 50 labs were there. And then we could cater to that industry. Presently, same way we are finding problem for battery testing, where electric vehicles are coming up. Now labs are getting set up, and then we are now focusing towards the particular sector. Each and every aspects what we are doing is trying to find out for that particular consumer connect. Everybody talks about quality. All common man talks about the quality. They are aware of quality, but they are not aware of how they will be able to ensure those things. It is even, I can always tell something I don't like is of bad quality. But now, having said that in one particular statement, but how will I be able to achieve that? So that is the gap what is there across the country. And slowly we are trying to bridge it. I mean, that's what I always appreciate Bijanta for that particular things, where he puts in efforts to bridge that kind of gaps.
No, Ashok Malik ji.
I'm satisfied with the answer.
No, actually, इस ढंग के कार्यक्रम से, लोगों को empower करना, सशक्तिकरण करना, जरूरी है. As Venkat is saying, सारे प्रक्रियाएं हैं, सारे तंत्र चल रहा है, लेकिन लोगों को जागरूकता नहीं है इसके बारे में. तो उनको empower करना बहुत जरूरी है.
That is the point.
And we are expecting a lot from people like you who are opinion makers in the community to spread it. One of the ladies has been raising the hand. I couldn't recognize her by name. iPhone लिखा हुआ है. आप please आइए. अपने को unmute करके आप please आइए. आप बहुत देर से.
Mrs. Alamelu, sir. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Why is Bangalore making you look so gray?
No, must be some connectivity, some issue.
I must tell you, I'm so proud. Dr. Alamelu का हम introduction दे दें आप लोगों को. She was officiating as the chairman of the IRDAI when I met her for the first time. She was member IRDAI for general insurance. She was the member IRDAI, and after retirement, she's become so proactive with me in terms of empowering consumers on their rights. She's now moved to Bangalore recently from Hyderabad. Dr. Alamelu, very nice to see you. I hope your transition from Hyderabad to Bangalore has been comfortable and settled down well.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. It had been a smooth journey. Probably I look a little bit gray since I think it's just 1 week of settling down, not yet settled down very much. First is I would like to compliment on this excellent, platform you have created as always. And of course, the inputs given by Mr. Venkateshwaran has been so clear, lucid. I think all his answers were extremely clear, and you get a sense of satisfaction that this accreditation is in safe hands. Having said that, I would just like to share, especially with my background in insurance and in the regulator's office, I think something on the hospitals, the accreditation for hospitals, we have been raising this issue that it is a fairly elaborate process, considering the fact that hospitals, it's likely to be fairly elaborate. But there are so many hospitals, so many, have mushroomed in the last probably decade that quite a few are not coming into this accreditation. So that's a bit of a worrying point. So can you think of grading of hospitals, immediately based on documents, something is given so that the consumers are aware what sort of treatment and how this can be of help to them. It would be a huge help to all the consumers if there is a grading of hospitals done by NABH, so that it becomes much easier for the consumer to select appropriate hospitals. Probably we can give inputs. I would request Professor to get into that as to how, from the insurance point of view, we can give certain inputs so that it becomes easier for you to do this sort of grading. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Venkat, your response, please.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the point what she has told, we will take it, sir. We will take it, we will review it, and then we will try to include her in any of our committees so that the inputs can be taken directly from her. We'll be in touch with you regarding that, and we will update, and then we will take things on board.
Thank you, Mr. Venkateshwaran.
Very good. Thank you very much. Jugal Kishorji, you have raised your hand. Jugal Kishorji, please unmute and come.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Vijon, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, my question was very much related to what ma'am just has raised, and also partially by Ashok, sir. So there have been a lot of mushrooming in terms of the labs also, round the corner, especially with the very adjacent to the government hospitals. So poor people, they do not know, and they just, get into the trap and they waste money. So one of the doctor who obviously did not want to be quoted here, he said that running labs and conducting quality tests needs a lot of investment and obviously recurring costs. And these centers, in bizarre violation, they do a lot of, ethics by giving cuts to the doctors and not conducting the test honestly or manipulating the report. So my question to Venkateshwaran sir is that do you have any plan to curb on such kind of labs? Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, I mean, rightly you have asked it, but maybe I missed out telling this. When I was responding him, I told only one surveillance aspect. I mean, we are having another surveillance aspect, which we call it as unannounced visit. We don't tell things to them. There is a mechanism with NABL that without informing that particular laboratory, we just go there and then look for what it is being done is right or wrong, whether samples are there. In fact, whether they are retaining the sample for the prescribed period or not. And what is the sample they have got it, whether everything is being run or not, whether the control charts are there with them, control samples are run or not also is being checked. If we find violation, then we just suspend them. And there are many incidences where we have suspended the labs also. Those suspended list, we are putting it into the website. And then we are keeping the regulator also informed so that that particular kind of labs are getting closed. That is there into the mechanism. But you will see more visibly in coming days because we are not publicizing them. Only we are putting it into our newsletter and website and informing the regulators. It is not directly coming to the consumers. Slowly we are developing a mechanism so that it becomes public to everyone. We are now first stage is to give a warning and cautions to all these kind of labs. And then the second stage will be making it public to everybody so that they are being eradicated from the system.
Very good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can I request Dr. Bangalarajan to come, please? Dr. Bangalarajan, you are there. I can see. I would like you to come.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Please come.
Yes, I am joining.
Any comments? Any small comments? And he's our former additional DCGI.
Thank you, sir. First, I have to congratulate Dr. Bijan Mishra and Dr. Venkat because he has given a very comprehensive about the functioning of NABL. And I have to thank Dr. G.N. Singh and our Praful Seth. So he is the person who is responsible for making what you can say that IPC and Dr. G.N. Singh to come out with separate IPC and other things. So I had interacted with Dr. Venkat previously also, and I have to congratulate him because I used to participate as a DCGA representative in the meetings of NABL. And during COVID time, they have taken steps of conducting inspections online and giving the accreditation renewal or whatever it is in time, so that it takes up. And I have to congratulate Dr. Venkat to change. That is, now they are, stated that he has taken steps that first giving a sample to the laboratories, whether they will be in a position to test it and give a correct report, and then they give the confidence so that they will come into the NABL net. So it's a great time having spent this 1.5 hours with our people. And one question I just wanted to ask is that how much time now NABL is taking to get the laboratory or whatever it is to certify, because that is more important. Now the government has come out with a notification that cough syrup should be tested for the export purpose in NABL accredited laboratories, so that most labs will be coming to get the NABL certification. So just I will request Mr. Venkat to give there how many labs have been accredited after the notification by the government, that is for testing the cough syrups. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Venkat.
Sir, regarding timelines is concerned, what is that it is happening is based on the scopes. If there is a limited scope, I mean, many cases we have given accreditation in 15 days time also, and depends on the laboratory's readiness, because there is a initial papers, documents, what we take from them. Three things, what is that we are facing a problem. One is about that equipment calibration, what they need to do. The calibration, if it is being done by the manufacturer, we are not accepting it. It has to be done from NABL accredited calibration laboratory, because we wanted the traceability to SI units is being established by the laboratory. So that is one particular area where we are now promoting or telling all the laboratories to go for that. And second thing is we are not granting accreditation if a sample or a PT is not being participated by them. They need to undergo a testing of a sample which is unknown to them, and they need to give a correct result. Even if they are giving a wrong result, at least if they are able to do a corrective action to that, then we are onboarding them. So PT participation is one aspect, and then calibration, traceability to SI units is another aspect. And the third aspect is the commitment where they would have already tested and then giving a correct result. So our main focus is only on to these particular three things without a compromise on quality is what we are focusing. So it is taking a little bit time for some laboratories which are not undergoing these things, for which we have already done, started doing a proactive things where we are giving an enhancement or a training program and making aware them that they need to do this first. And we are promoting the proficiency testing providers also, so that we are telling them whether they are accredited or not accredited, please you give the samples to everyone, let them give you a correct results or not. Then they'll be able to approach NABL for accreditation, so that the time gap, whatever it is there, we are still trying to reduce it. But otherwise, any case, the normal period, it takes place from 75 to 90 days by the time the accreditation process gets completed. Nowadays, we have also started telling we don't give you accreditation because you are not competent. Maybe it is pinching, but there are kind of cases where we have not granted accreditation also. So we are telling them to take appropriate corrective actions and then come back to us. Before the timelines, it goes beyond 100 days to 120, 150, where we were giving them time for making it ready. But now we are telling them, please come again, make your system better. That may be the reason where you could have got from somebody that NABL has not granted us accreditation, and so on and so forth. But we will certainly try to ensure that the labs are doing up to the mark and then granting them, so that the quality aspect doesn't get diluted. Nowadays, there are foreign accreditation bodies or any others coming inside the country for playing a major role. wherever we are denying, they take up or pick up them and then grant them and become a kind of mushroom type. We are slowly trying to avoid those kind of situations. Thank you so much for that.
Well, very nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, Ramu's mind seems to be working. Ramu, please come. Please come, Ramu. Please come.
Dr. Venkatesh, your clarification about the calibration, I was listening to very carefully. Assume for a moment that you have a system of calibrating an equipment and the equipment has been calibrated and the lab carries on its work and gives results. There are certain equipment which would probably need recalibration every 3 months or 6 months. Does NABL have a monitoring system whereby individual labs with specific equipment which need recalibration are being monitored to ensure that such recalibration is being done?
Sir, per se, we don't look for each and every equipment, but how we are doing it is during our surveillance, we check what first is that we accept their self-declaration or their procedure. If they have written that every 3 months they will do the calibration, we first accept it and have that with us. During our surveillance assessment after 10 months, we compare with this particular records, what they have given it to us, whether they are following it or not. If they are not following, then we are not giving or continuing that particular accreditation, because it is not that unlike previous time where we used to give a non-conformity and then time for them to do. Nowadays, we are not doing that. So some of the laboratories are unhappy with us on that particular aspect, but we are a little bit stringent because we are first accepting their self-declaration that yes, they will do by themselves on 3 months, 6 months, 9 months and 12 months period. When we are checking them, if they are not meeting to that, then we are taking action nowadays. Before we used to give them some time or leverage, but now we are not giving it. So few are unhappy with NABL on that. But every equipment per se, we are not checking with them that whether they are doing it or not. But one commitment when we are taking it from application, other gentleman also was asking why only 2 years you are giving. This is one of the aspects, but I didn't want to tell at that point of time. But we need to ensure parallelly the results part also. We cannot overrule the quality of the results what they are giving, because nowadays wrong result is causing more damage to the entire ecosystem rather than we accept with them for 1 or 2 failures on that particular note. A little bit we are stringent onto that, but first level we are taking the self-declaration from them. We are accepting that. During surveillance we are checking it. In between we are not monitoring that. But once after 2 years we compare that application first to what they have given it and what now they are giving it, whether there is an improvement into that or not. We are having a portal for that where the system automatically checks and flags it to us that this is the default onto that. But this information we have not told to the laboratory, because since you have asked this, the inside mechanism, I have told it to you. But we will like to tell to the labs also where we wanted to show them that this is their default. We are working on the portal for that particular aspect is concerned.
So in that case, possibly you are depending a lot on the integrity of the individual labs.
Yes.
For such matters. Am I right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
And there are times, Dr. Venkatesh, where we find a lot of difference between results of one lab to another lab with the sample remaining the same. It becomes very difficult for an individual to identify which result is correct. And to that extent, the consumer is always at a faux pas as to how to decide which report to be depending upon. How does a consumer have a recourse to the assistance from NABL for solving such problems?
Sir, thank you so much. Actually, in fact, I don't know how I missed out telling this point. NABL has a system of proficiency testing provider accreditation. We started this particular mechanism to ensure these differences between the laboratories, what they are giving should be less. The first motive about our thing is that a laboratory and another accredited laboratory should not give different results. All the laboratories are giving a results with a proper range where we call it as a measurement uncertainty. What is that they are being given? Within that particular range, all the laboratories should give. That is the normal course what we are ensuring through a PT provider mechanism. But in all areas, it is not available. So I will not tell blanket ways we are doing like this and it is ensured. That I shouldn't tell. But one of the mechanism what we are trying to put in place is through PT participation, where one laboratory result and another laboratory result, what differences are coming and whether they are all able to give it within one particular range or not. So that mechanism is in place. But your question is, second question also is there. You asked what is that NABL is supporting, how you will be able to declare when two laboratories have given two different results for one particular sample. We wanted to know, one laboratory tells this is pass, another laboratory tells it is fails. So what is the recurse from accreditation body is concerned? So we had one particular, I'll share one incident what has happened in real time with us, so that you will be able to, tell whether the way what we are doing is right or wrong. Copper, percentage of copper, because for copper 70% should be there. Otherwise, the conductivity doesn't take place and it is related with an electricity board. Lab A has failed that by telling that it is 69.9%, and Lab B has passed it telling it is 70.1. But now the manufacturer is into loop where the manufacturer has submitted a certificate of 70.1, which is accredited by NABL. And the electricity board is having a certificate from NABL accredited lab where it tells 69.9. So now when the problem there, particular thing is, it's not on the testing activity what it is being done, but the sample what is being given to them. It's not the same sample. It is about that particular lot of a cable from where they have taken that sample. So we could find out that the inherent variation in the sampling when it is being produced itself is not okay. And then when we told to the manufacturer that, you see, the way what it is being done is not okay, for which these kind of things have come up. Then when they have checked with their production area itself, and then they could correct it in their treat, what they have converted from that particular metal to a finished product of cable, that wiring problem itself was there where they could not draw a right sample. So in that particular case, the manufacturer appreciated NABL for finding out and telling them where that particular flaw was. So the issue was about that particular sample, and the way what they have did that conversion of sampling was the mistake. Here, both the laboratories were right. Once I'm telling you this, the other way regarding our human samples, what we are giving it for medical examinations, where there is an error. Those error, we are checking it through the quality control sample, how they are running and when they are running. Is it falling as per NABL's norms or not? We are telling them to run the quality control samples at least twice in a day, wherever more number of samples are there. Using that quality control sample and what the result is going to come, whether that is okay or not okay, we are able to decide. So if both the laboratories or three laboratories differences are there, we are taking this information from that particular laboratory and we are telling them what it is right. And we are advising other laboratories also if they are getting deviated out of that. And they are supposed to inform to the customer that this is the value they can take and this is the value they cannot take. But those information that in medical sector, they are telling it to the clinicians, not to the patient, because the patient may get confused. So this is already in existence presently. We are also bringing in this 15189 new version has brought in that first initially you'll have to tell to the customer that this is what it is, this is my limits and this is what it needs to be done. If there is going to be an error or there is going to be a differences, then this is the reason for having that error, where we tell it about measurement uncertainty, where they'll have to tell to the customer or the consumer, whether it is going to be a pass or a fail. If this situation is going to come, they will have to take it like this. That is what the standard has been revised also. And that we are now propagating to all the laboratories for medical sector. For non-medical things, in general things also, there is a class which tells that before giving the decision rule that it is pass or fail, they need to discuss with the customer, tell them that this is what you have got it and what the particular situation, the customer or the consumer should take that call. So this mechanism is what we have put in place, sir.
Thank you so much for such a detailed this thing. But tell me, what if I may ask one more question related to the same topic? Is there any tie-up that you have with BIS organization and NABL? Because for manufacturing industries, BIS, which grants its BIS certification, has methods of sample collection and testing.
Yeah.
Do you have an interface with BIS to find out whether there is avoid the possibility of a mismatch between their processes and your processes?
Sir, if you want me to be blunt, then I should admit to you that in that area, what you are telling, it is not there. Actually, they are a standards body. We follow that particular standards. And it is again their domain where they will like to hear from us or not, we don't know. But we are there into all of their committees, in one or other committees. We are also being given an equal opportunity to tell. Whenever I get an opportunity, I certainly express it to them and try to get involved. But according to them, they go ahead with a different committee members and the way what they get advised. We will certainly take it because I'm working on this. If you will ask me for another 2 sectors, one on AOAC, where this chemical sector is coming up, there they are consulting us and we are giving the inputs. Our Food Safety Authority, yes, we are giving it and they are taking the inputs. For medical, there is a Clinical Laboratory Standards Institute where we are giving inputs and they are taking it. BAS, we have given it, but in all the particular process, it is not there, is what I will tell. I will not like to tell you something wrongly.
Sure. Okay. Thank you so much.
It's a bit, Ramu, it's a bit political question. So, we have run out of time. I'm really sorry. We've run out of time. We've run out of time. And I saw last question, Dr. Anamika, you had raised your hand. If you're still there, Dr. Anamika, you may please come in, unmute and come. And that would be the last question. And of course, if somebody is absolutely desperate to ask something, we can take it because we have run out of time. We have run out of time. It is now up to Dr. Venkat to consider whether he'll stay on or not. Dr. Anamika.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Mishra, so much. And thank you, Venkatji, for giving excellent insights today and such an information. I have a very last and a very important question, and that is going to be from a consumer point of view. So we all know that ISO certification is mandatory. And we also know that NABL brings in quality when it comes to accreditation. It does bring a good reputation and a consumer trust built in organically. I just want to know why we are not getting NABL as a mandatory for all the labs. That's what I want to ask, sir. Why it is not getting that mandatory status?
No, mandatory will again kill the process totally. Voluntary means at least if you ask some question, you tell them to do something, they will do it. The moment you will tell that it is mandatory to be done, always the tendency is to find out how I will clear it and go ahead. So mandatory accreditation is not friendly for the consumers. Because here, at least there is a quality, you will be able to differentiate 2 things. I mean, there are a number of particular things, and I can have a lot of examples to tell you why it should not be made mandatory. Because the moment you will make it mandatory, it will give you a force to do something which you don't want to do. Today, following a procedure, I mean, nobody can challenge us whether we will be able to deviate or not. No deviation. Every laboratory will be treated at par and there will be no parity. If I tell that somebody has to pass the test of finding out whether it is right or wrong, whether in my assessment or independently by giving a sample, that is uniform throughout. Even for a government lab, they'll have to follow this. For a private lab, they'll have to follow this. But once you are making it mandatory, the moment mandatory, they will try to tell, no, please waive off this. With this declaration, you accept. That kind of pressures will get built up. Unnecessary pressures, unnecessary things will crop up and the entire system gets diluted. So I will not prefer that way. I will prefer another way. Now, what is that we are doing it with the regulators? Suppose, even we all were talking about food, grapes. Now, for grape means if they need to have FSSAI, then they'll have to test every parameter A to Z. Then only they get enable accreditation for that particular product. Now, product-based are coming up very well, so that you can differentiate the lab. Yes, if I give the sample to this lab, they'll be able to give me a complete test profile without having any kind of problem. So in that sector, yes, we can make it. If you are giving it, then we will, otherwise no. We even tried now. If the laboratory is accredited, they should use enable symbol so that the consumers are being highlighted onto these things. Once they will try to cheat or deviate, it will come immediately to test and their business will go. So that kind of mechanism is there. So I will suggest, or my view will be that making it voluntary is better than making it mandatory. By force, you will tell them to do quality, they may not be able to do it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very good. Very well said. In fact, there can be a very different conversation at some point of time. Dr. Anamika has just joined our team. She's a new member, just covered 2 months with us. And I'm sure as we move on, Dr. Anamika will understand more in terms of what is the difference between voluntary and mandatory, and why consumers need both to work in parallel, because when it is mandatory, that is the minimum benchmark or minimum standard requirement. But when you do more than that in a voluntary manner, then the consumer is empowered to differentiate between the best and the average. So we are looking at the best. We want consumers to recognize the best, and the best can come only out of voluntary initiatives, where people are not driven by mandatory considerations. So this is where, in brief, in simple language, I'm trying to explain to you all. I saw Ranaji. Ranaji, Dr. Rana, would you like to come in? You have something very urgent?
No, thanks, Bijonda. I think Venkat has responded. He covered the aspect. Basically, by basic philosophy, accreditation is a voluntary process, but it can be mandated by regulators and insurance or the incentivized schemes, So that mechanism really working well everywhere in the world. Thank you.
Correct. Very good. Thank you very much. That's what I wanted to tell Dr. Anamika, that there is a value addition when we do voluntary. Mandatory is an average which has to be done by everybody. And Gunjanji, I'm so sorry, we've run out of time. I will request Binaji to kindly propose the vote of thanks, because we have to close. Venkat has to go somewhere else. He's an important person. I would not like to keep him waiting. Binaji, your vote of thanks, please. Gunjanji?
Yes. But Bijonda, there are some tribute and a lot of respect for our freedom fighter, Shahid Ram Prasad Bismil ji. So then we will, Binaji will deliver a vote of thanks.
Please go ahead.
तो ये राम जानकी संस्थान 8 साल से सकारात्मक भारत उदय आंदोलन चला रहा है, जिसके अंतर्गत हम लोगों ने आजादी की अमृत गाथा का 147वां अंक, जो लोग देर से जुड़े हैं उन्हें बता दूं कि हम लोगों ने लगातार बिजोन कुमार मिश्रा जी की प्रेरणा से इसको 150वें अंक तक ले जाने का प्रण लिया है। और 150वां कार्यक्रम राजेंद्र भवन ऑडिटोरियम ITO नई दिल्ली में होने जा रहा है 6 अगस्त को। और 6 अगस्त रविवार का दिन है। वहां पर हम लोग 11 बजे से 2 बजे तक कार्यक्रम कर रहे हैं, जिसमें ये पुस्तक जो है, ये पुस्तक एक डमी है। पुस्तक तैयार हो रही है और 150वें अंक पे आधारित होगी ये, और इसका मूल्य जो है 700 रुपये रखा गया है। और ये वहां पर जो लोग बुकिंग कर लेंगे उनको वहां पर हाथों हाथ रिलीज होने के बाद दे दी जाएगी, प्रदान कर दी जाएगी। हम लोग 3 काम कर रहे हैं। कार्यक्रम तो कर रहे हैं वहां पे स्वतंत्रता दिवस का, और उसके साथ साथ किताब का लोकार्पण कर रहे हैं, जो 8 साल के सकारात्मक भारत उदय आंदोलन को दिखाएगा कि देश में घूम घूम कर जन जन तक पहुंचाने के लिए कि पॉजिटिविटी, ओनली पॉजिटिविटी, नो नेगेटिविटी, और पॉजिटिव मीडिया, पॉजिटिव इंडिया, कई राज्यों में जा जाकर हम लोगों ने इस कैंपेन को चलाया है। वेबिनार के अंतर्गत आप देख ही रहे हैं 147वें अंक तक पहुंचे हैं। इससे पहले 163 बैठकें ऑलरेडी कार्यक्रमों और वेबिनार के द्वारा कर चुके हैं। 160 से ज्यादा फेसबुक लाइव, इस चीज को करने वाले पहले संगठन, निरंतर गतिमान रहने वाले पहले संगठन भारत के हम लोग बन चुके हैं। और एक और बेहतर काम होने जा रहा है कि मीडिया का विकल्प जो है पॉजिटिव मीडिया यानी RJS पॉजिटिव PBH देने जा रहा है। राम जानकी संस्थान पॉजिटिव ब्रॉडकास्टिंग हाउस, ये देश को विकल्प देने जा रहा है। मीडिया का विकल्प पॉजिटिव मीडिया बनने जा रहा है। हम लोगों ने एक्सीलेंट काम किया था। ITPO के द्वारा लगाए गए ट्रेड फेयर हो या सूरजकुंड मेला हो, वहां पर एक्सीलेंट पॉजिटिव मीडिया का काम जो है वो रिकॉग्नाइज किया गया है। तो हम लोगों का उत्साह बढ़ा है और हम लोग RJS PBH लेकर आ रहे हैं, जिससे कि ये नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन का काम होगा, पूरे देश को एक माला में पिरोने का काम होगा। वो 6 अगस्त को लॉन्च होगा, जिसका कि ऑनलाइन लॉन्च जो है वो सूचना और प्रसारण मंत्रालय के इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मास कम्युनिकेशन, भारतीय जनसंचार संस्थान जो है दिल्ली में सबसे बड़ा पत्रकारिता का सरकारी संस्थान,
उदय मन्ना जी टाइम का सीमित है।
जी 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 ये लोगों तक जानकारी पहुंचाना भी जरूरी है कि ये आप जितने विशेषज्ञ आए हुए हैं, कम से कम मीडिया का काम जो है वो हम लोग बिजोंदा से पूछकर, आप सभी जो जुड़े हैं, इतने गणमान्य लोग, लगभग 80 से ज्यादा लोग जुड़े और इस वक्त लगभग 50 लोग जुड़े हुए हैं, तो उन लोगों तक जानकारी ये पहुंचाना है।
I must also recognize
राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल जी।
एक मिनट उदय मन्ना जी, एक मिनट रुक जाइए, एक मिनट। I just now see Dr. Prakash, who is now based out of UK, joining us. Dr. Prakash, you want to say a few words? Please unmute and come.
Thank you, Mr. Bijan. I'm glad to see that you are organizing such a very purposeful show. I just want to hear from the audience and take some learnings out of your great work.
Thank you very much for your good wishes. You have been a big support to us in terms of making Star Health a brand which is for the citizens, in terms of covering healthcare with the best quality healthcare provided in terms of insurance. So you all were the starters, you all were the movers. Now healthcare insurance cover is picking up in the country, and I must give full credit to Star Health for being able to do that under the able leadership of you, who had been the founder, CEO of this organization. Thank you very much for joining from UK. Thank you very much. So Binaji,
thank you.
Thank you. Binaji, can you please give the vote of thanks? We have to close it.
Okay, thank you, Bijanji. Thank you very much. I must say that this program was excellent. And first I want to thank Mr. Praful Bhai ji, who gave opening remarks. Nobody can challenge, and he make the atmosphere. And so many people have joined, and especially outside India, US and UK, and they must be very much interested in this subject, and that's why they are awake at this time. And I must thank them very much. And you are here, and you must have got the few points that India is going on a right track. And I must thank Mr. Bijan Mishra, who chose this, who kept this topic today. It's a very, very important for all of us. And so many speakers, esteemed speaker, they gave their opinion, and they want to learn what is going on. And our chief guest, Venkateshwara ji ne jo kaha, jo detail mein they explained everything. And those who have questioned, and they answered so well that I think everybody is satisfied with that. But I want to know, somebody has explained that kits are available in the market or somewhere for testing. I want more detail of that, because I'm a social worker and work in the field, and I can explain people, they can buy and use that for testing. The one gentleman, they mentioned for the milk, that is very important these days. And somebody said that the milk is very artificial, people are making, that is not good for health. And our small children and elderly, they drink milk, which is not advisable to drink a wrong milk. And we have to keep that it with us. And there are so many names. If Bijanji, if you like, I can take all the names. Mr. Dr. Rana, who explained very nicely, and the questions very nicely. And Ashok Kumar ji, and Kamal Nain ji from US, and JN Singh ji. JN Singh ji को मैं पहले से भी जानती हूँ, I know him. And उन्होंने जो quality control की बात कही है, that is very important for us, especially during our festival season. We are very scared to eat any sweet or anything, and we have to control. We have to see what we are eating, and people are very conscious these days for their health. And but my colleague, Anamika has mentioned that we should have this stamp or something. Lab में test हो रहा है, that is not correct. She is very right, because people are not in big cities. Small cities, they are facing a lot of trouble. Even one case I can mention that in Haridwar, somebody has taken the medicine, but it was not available anywhere.
क्या किया? उनको दिखा दे.
Anybody wants to say something?
No. He was having a side conversation. His wife is scolding him. He's taking too much of time.
Why scolding his? Why you are saying is scolding?
Because she wants that. He said 12:30. Now it is going to be 1. He is not gone.
So I want to just mention that local medicines, properly they are selling in the on the shop. But that medicines are not available, even that available in Uttarakhand, not anywhere else. So I can't understand what type of medicine we are eating, what type of things we are eating. So I want to thank all of them, those who have participated and questions, and lot of thanks of Venkat.
Thank you very much, Veena ji. Thank you very much, and I'm sure we will keep having this conversation on very important topics which you all will raise in terms of getting clarity. I want to take this opportunity to thank Venkat once more for taking his time to come on a Sunday and address us. Actually, to tell you very frankly, you explained in a very simple language which every commoner could understand. And as I want to tell you, Uday Manna ji takes the trouble of recording this show. He will put it on YouTube and it will be available to everybody, who have missed out also. And we will also many a times, such shows, we make an abbreviation of it in a short 7-8 minute slots to make people understand the key ideas which have emerged from such conversations. So it's been very good. I especially want to thank all my friends, who have come. My school friend, my college friend from BHU, my professional friends, and of course, friends, better half, Ranjan Ben, especially. Ranjan Ben is very nice, bright, and that yellow color is really matching you, is really doing well. And thanks to my overseas friends, thanks to Mr. Junjunwala from Patna, सबको बधाई, सबको हम धन्यवाद देना चाहते हैं. Now I would like to say goodbye and we hope to see you.
Yes, Professor Bijonda. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. ये आजादी की अमृत गाथा है.
2 minutes, only 2 minutes.
हाँ, आजादी की अमृत गाथा है और इसमें हम लोग शहीद राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल जी को याद कर रहे हैं. क्रांतिकारी थे जिन्होंने मैनपुरी और काकोरी जैसे कांड में शामिल होकर ब्रिटिश सरकार के विरुद्ध बेगुल फूंका था और 19 दिसंबर 1927 में राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल को गोरखपुर जेल अष्टाकुला गई थी. और आप जानते हैं कि बिस्मिल जी की हम इनकी एक कविता आप तक प्रस्तुत कर रहे हैं क्योंकि वो एक देशभक्त थे और देशभक्ति की कविताएं लिखा करते थे, लोगों में जागृति पैदा करते थे. आज हम लोग इन लोगों की वजह से ही आजाद हैं. ऐ मातृभूमि तेरी जय हो सदा विजय हो, ऐ मातृभूमि तेरी जय हो सदा विजय हो, प्रत्येक भक्त तेरा सुख शांति कांतिमय हो. और वो कहते हैं कि बला से हमको लटकाए अगर सरकार फांसी से, लटकते आए अक्सर पैकरे इशार फांसी से, खुली है मुझको लेने के लिए आगोशे आजादी, खुशी है हो गया महबूब का दीदार फांसी से. और इस तरह कहते हुए ये लोग फांसी पर चढ़ गए, देश आजाद हो गया. आइए फोर्थ कमिंग कार्यक्रम जो अगले रविवार को है, मैं टेक्निकल टीम से चाहूंगा कि उसका बैनर आप दिखाएं क्योंकि विश्व योग दिवस है और उस अवसर पर आरजेएस के जो सोर्स ऑफ इंस्पिरेशन श्री रामजग सिंह जी हैं, वो होस्ट हैं, इंजीनियर श्री रामजग सिंह जी, और डॉक्टर रमेश कुमार जी हैं, वो होस्ट हैं, फाउंडर हैं अध्यात्म योगा संस्थान के. और ये विश्व योगा दिवस पर 18 जून रविवार को सुबह 11 बजे से 12:30 बजे का कार्यक्रम किया जाएगा. और आज का जो कार्यक्रम है, लगभग सभी कार्यक्रम यूट्यूब पे आरजेएस पॉजिटिव मीडिया पे ये लिंक आपको उपलब्ध है, आप लोग देख सकते हैं. अगर आरजेएस फैमिली में आप हैं तो आरजेएस फैमिली में ये लिंक 10:30 बजे ही भेज दिया गया है. तो आप पूरी रिकॉर्डिंग अपने पास रख सकते हैं और इसके छोटे छोटे टुकड़े टुकड़े में विशेष जो है इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग जो है अलग अलग RJS PBH पर भी अपलोड किया जाएगा। तो इसके साथ ही प्रोफेसर बिजोंदा को, बीना जैन जी को और वेंकटेश्वरन जी को और प्रफुल्ल सेठ जी को, रंजन सेठ जी को और तमाम जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स जुड़े, अशोक कुमार मलिक जी को भी बहुत अच्छा सवाल पूछे थे और ओवरसीज जितने लोग जुड़े सभी लोगों को, और आज के होस्ट प्रोफेसर बिजोन कुमार मिश्रा जी जो चेयर कर रहे थे द अवेयर कंज्यूमर और हेल्दी यू फाउंडेशन आज होस्ट कर रहे थे, मेजबानी कर रहे थे आज के कार्यक्रम की। आप सभी का उदय कुमार मन्ना राष्ट्रीय संयोजक की ओर से हार्दिक आभार। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless all of you. Take care.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Enjoy your Sunday. Take care.